Hello, I'm Priscilla Archangel, and my leadership insight for you today is step out on your wire, bravery and purpose. Imagine taking a trip to Niagara Falls, and you're observing the beauty and the power of the rushing water as you peer through the mist to see the other side, the international border from New York to Canada. Now, you could be surrounded by other tourists wearing rain ponchos as protection from the water spray and taking pictures of the rock formations surrounding it. But what if you instead stepped out on a wire 2 inches in diameter, strung 1,500 feet from one side to the other, and step by step you crossed to the other side? Well, that's exactly what Nick Walinda did in 2012. He was the first person to cross Niagara Falls walking on a tightrope wire. And you can imagine this took a lot of bravery. Now, Nick's last name may be familiar to you. He comes from 7 generations of tightrope walkers dating back to the 1780s, and he's been walking on wires all of his life. He successfully crossed Times Square in New York City, an active volcano, the Grand Canyon, and other amazing feats. But in 2017, while Nick was practicing for a performance, he was one of a pyramid of 8 people that collapsed. And 5 of his colleagues, including his sister, fell 25 feet, and they were severely injured. Now, Nick was fortunate enough to be able to grab the wire and hold on, and while he wasn't physically injured, he later realized that he was emotionally injured because he began to feel fearful and he trembled when he approached the wire. At that point, Nick had to make a decision to put fear behind him if he was going to move forward. Now, you need to know that when Nick gets ready to do a walk, his heart races just until he steps up to the wire, and then it slows down and he becomes very calm. Nick was recently interviewed by pastor and author Joel Osteen, and he shared some key pieces of advice on how he performs. The first one: for months leading up to a walk, Nick spends time in that location visualizing the crossing. So when the actual event arrives, he has successfully seen it in his mind so many times that he's at peace. The second insight: he's never watched the video of his 2017 accident, even to the point that when someone interviews him about it and shows a video clip, he turns his head away because he does not want to have an image in his mind of failure. The third insight: because Nick has a deep faith in God, during his walk, he plays music and he audibly speaks God's promises to keep his mind focused. And the fourth insight: Nick focuses on just a few feet in front of him. During his famous walk across Niagara Falls, he could only see a short distance ahead due to the fog and the spray of water. But he trusted that the wire was still in place, and the Canadian side wasn't far away, and that he would safely make the crossing. Nick believes that the high wire is his calling in life. He could no more stop doing it than he could stop breathing. And he exhibits bravery by following his purpose. He has a mental focus that blocks out distractions. It's also his way of encouraging others to pursue their dreams. So let me challenge you. What does bravery look like to you? How are you walking in your calling, that thing that you can't not do, the thing that you absolutely must do? You might be terrified as you approach it, but when you're doing it, there's a peace, a thrill, a sense of joy, of being in your zone that pulls you back to it again and again. How will you step out on your wire? Thanks for listening.